Hello all, my name is Sage, and today we're doing something quite a bit different. I saw something pretty big about the Smash community, and I decided, hey, let's talk about it. But before we do that, as you can see, the owner of Smashcords is kind of coming under fire for somewhat of abuse of power. But before that, this isn't actually the first time Smashcord was in some sort of controversial drama. Now, I don't know what happened to Game and Watch Cord and all that stuff, but I do know what happened to Link Cord, although it didn't get delisted. But basically, there's an out of context post, which of this joke right here. Now, the joke is bad. I'm definitely going to say that. However, the problem with this tweet is that it was out of context and it tried to say like the entire server and the mods were transphobic or homophobic, which isn't true. It took me like 5 minutes of 5 minutes of context to actually figure out if this was being unironic or not. And the sad part about it is that people, believed that the entire link cord was homophobic, which is a problem, and thus people got kicked out of the community and such. Now, personally, I know it's bad. It shouldn't be thrown around willy-nilly, and the server didn't get delisted, so who cares, right? But me personally, I think if I were anyone in charge of Smashcords, I would actually, look into it. And I don't think this person was necessarily trying to better the community, because again, if you were, you wouldn't be posting an out-of-context image that writes off the entire server as essentially bad. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm not really trying to throw shade at the person. But let's get into the real meat and potatoes. So, recently, Aegis Cord got delisted because they didn't want to, listen to Lucario anymore. But basically, in this doc, we will find, this is our formal response towards the allegations made by the user Lucario, yada yada yada. And basically, we're just going to be going down. Essentially, this is literally all because of a NSFW thing, which is pretty wacky, but if we go down, there's actually reasons other than that. So here you can see, read the text, because I don't think I'm going to be able to read all of it personally. But essentially, something about NSFW art and that it's not suitable for children, and so she made a survey. But the problem is, as you can see in this image, it's a little bit hostile, and yeah, like where she says, "I will try to reason with you one more time," and yeah, every single person has come to agreement, which is kind of like, I guess a way to like enforce your power here. But basically, it was a quote-unquote survey with a few people, and I guess it was used like as pressure to actually listen. Me personally, I don't know why people are doing this over Smash Brothers of all things. I mean, come on, guys. But yeah, it's pretty shady. But essentially, the main issue is that apparently minors were getting access to porn or something, and I don't think that happened, because you'll see later down in the doc why that's probably not true. And yeah, it's just going over the fact this isn't a survey. I'm just kind of trying to summarize it, because I don't think anyone needs to read all of this text. But yeah. And like it says, it wasn't very productive, and it was an ultimatum. So yeah, that makes sense. And here are the actual accusations: overstepping her authority, bias against our character in game, which sounds pretty funny, but if we go down, it'll make a bit more sense. And trying to force us to comply with her demands. I think that would be just number one, but that's my opinion. Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, overstepping her authority. This one is actually something I heavily agree with. I mean, I agree with most of the points on here, but this is probably the main one that I want to shed light to. Okay, so essentially the context of this is that I think it's called Smash Assembly or whatever it is. I don't actually know the context of it. Um, they are not supposed to be governing servers anymore, and I think Lucario was like an ex-member of the Pyra and Myther or the Aegis Cord mod team or something, or she used to be there to like control the art server, the art channel there or something. And yeah, as you can see, they essentially made rules, you know, to change what happened. So yeah, remove any SA rules and jurisdiction, obviously. And as you can see, the vote, from what I can understand, the democracy, SA was not supposed to have any jurisdiction or power. And she said she's supposed to be like the sole representative, when clearly it never happened, which is kind of like what I think it taps into some sort of god complex. Now, I'm not going to go into it completely because it is just speculation, but considering she does own the entire Smashcords site, and you know, she kind of has power over pretty much whether they get delisted or not, I do think it plays into that. But yeah. And I guess she tries to justify the fact that just because that happened to SA, that doesn't mean she can't jurisdict over servers. And yeah, essentially she's just like, even despite that, she's like making demands. Like, if you have issues, report them to me, even though there's supposed to be no jurisdiction over the servers. And it's still required to have this form. And I think it's kind of funny because she says, but no D-list threats, I promise, which is very shady to me, in my opinion. I mean, like, okay. Like, do you normally D-list threat? Probably. I don't know. And, I will try to form a team of trusted individual times, but it will take a while, which, really screams odd to me, because, again, this person doesn't seem the most trustworthy, and I don't think I would trust a team built of people this person trusts, but oh well. Yeah, if you get delisted, you can't be here because you have to follow the rules, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, you can read that, all that stuff. And yeah, essentially she inserted herself back into power. I have no idea why. And here we get like screenshots of what, again, I think plays into the god complex. And yeah, she's kind of like bragging about owning the server, and then she calls them retards, which, okay, I definitely think plays into a god complex here, in my opinion. And yeah, they don't have any, I guess they don't have any power over what servers they own, because again, she owns the entire Smashboards thing. She can delist, well, at least she used to be, or maybe can currently still delist servers and such. And she says she doesn't want to run more, which I don't agree. I don't believe. She's worried that someone else will be able to actually be normal and, you know, make a Discord server like regular. And on the down low, I just kind of want a figurehead owner for me to run things still, which just goes to show she cannot imagine not owning a server and being in power, which is pretty weird. And she's above everything, and make the time limit indefinite as long as there's effort to find a replacement, which they can't prove I am or not doing anyway. So I guess she didn't want to find a replacement for her or something, which again is just really weird and sketchy. Um, like I said, it just seems like she can't accept the fact that she's not in power anymore, which is really weird. But yeah. And yeah, it's just going over how this is like weird and rude and all that jazz. But we're going to go on to the next point because there's actually a bit of interesting things. So, as we all know, Aegis Chord is about Mithra and Pyra in Smash Brothers. And since this is all NSFW, I thought this would be pretty interesting because obviously I think Xenoblade 2 has some over sexualization and some interesting designs, to say the least, but that's not really the point of this. This is essentially because of allegations that people underage were looking at porn and stuff in the art channel. But yeah, basically it's saying that she has bias against the character and such, which I know it sounds silly and it sounds like an asshole, but we're gonna see it in a bit. So yeah, let's just scroll down to the images. Now, these three images were listed as not safe for work in an official document from Ludcaria. Now, the problem with that is that they aren't not safe for work because there's nothing inherently suggestive about them. It's kind of just, I mean, obviously it'll have the features, but honestly, that's just how they're designed. You know, if you took away those features, you would literally be you wouldn't be drawing the same art. You know, it wouldn't be true to the source material. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that if the baseline art is of the character and you don't like that character's art, and you know, that's cool and all, but that doesn't, if there's nothing inherently suggestive about it, in my opinion, it's not safe for work. At least these three images in particular. We're gonna see some more later down. I do have this document open, so yeah. So as you can see, they're just talking about how these images aren't necessarily NSFW, and I agree. I don't know what this is, to be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest, and yeah. And here we see she hates this game, and essentially all this art, which, I mean, yeah, it has the features, but it's not really that suggestive. It's kind of just character art of them from the game, and that she hates the game and such, and she thinks the game is misogynist and all that, and has the objectification. Now, like I said earlier, I do think why did I almost say Persona there? I do think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does have over-sexualization. However, I don't think it's misogynistic or anything. I think it's kind of just to appeal to the newer demographic, which, I mean, I understand. I don't personally agree with it. But yeah, and yeah, as she I guess tries to justify it because she draws NSFW art or something, and that's misogyny and objectification, etc., etc. And later down the line, we can see that SA is in a Smash Chord, and yeah, essentially they're like, someone asked a question, Brian here, who's actually part of the Aegis Chord, and they kind of just rally up against them. Rally against them because, again, this is not supposed to be moderated by SA, right? But they're still, you know, ruling over it, I guess you could say. I don't want to make it sound like it's like a king or a queen sort of thing. No, it's literally just a Discord server. So yeah, even without the NSFW, obviously it's going to say, you know, why this is wrong. You know, probably would be better to have a one-on-one conversation instead of like calling someone dense over it, because it doesn't make sense in the first place. So yeah, essentially they tried to say that the rules were different. As you can see, like right here, they're not really different. Yeah, sorry if I'm like scrolling through a bunch of text here. I just kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes of it. And yeah, I actually didn't read all of this here, but first we're gonna go to this actually, and this is essentially the case against the art channel. Now, some of these images I do and don't agree with. I mean, I can see why this can be considered not safe for work, right? These two, I mean, these three I don't really consider. Maybe this one, it's pretty revealing. I don't think this one is, or that one. These two, no. Let's see if I didn't skip anything. That one, no. I don't agree. This one, sure. That one, no. Yeah, we see some of the same repeat images. I think this could be considered that, but I don't know. You know, I don't have an opinion on most of these. I don't think this is not safe for work. This could be considered that, and so could this. I don't think that one is. This can be considered that. I don't think that one is. And that one, yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's basically the entire thing in a nutshell. Now, I do agree some of that, a bit of that was not safe for work. However, the problem is if you have context that most of this stuff was deleted anyway, so it doesn't really matter because they did delete it. It's not like it stayed up forever. And such, some of it was deleted. But yeah, basically, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily what is actually not safe for work. It more or less just seems like Lucario doesn't like Xenoblade 2 and such. All the art from it is not safe for work for her. I don't know why, but it is that way. However, I do want to go over some posts here. I actually can't find it. Posts of white or posts of topless men in risque posts allowed. Now, I don't know what this is necessarily referring, but I'm not going to say this is a Discord's argument or anything, but near the release of Pyra and Mythra, people were complaining, you know, about the cleavage and such, and how shirtless Sephiroth is in the game. I kind of want to go on a little bit of tangent about that, because I think over-sexualization has context and requires context, and me personally, in the context of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there are multiple sexual jokes. I mean, I don't really care that it has those, but to say that they're not sexualized in some sort of way would just be being disingenuous. Well, as a character like shirtless Sephiroth, you know, he may be attractive or whatnot, but the intent of the game, the context of his games, and the intent of the design was not to be that way. It's supposed to be menacing, and it's supposed to be like a last form of desperation. At least in the context of Final Fantasy VII and Smash. And Smash, I guess, it's sort of just a reference to Final Fantasy VII. Whereas, say, Mythra or Pyra, there are multiple instances. I'm not really going to show them off, but there are multiple instances of, you know, sexual jokes and such. Obviously, like, Rex touching Pyra's chest and such. And I do see as to why that could be considered not safe for work, but considering it's a server, or over-sexualization, but considering it's a server about that game, about that character getting into Smash, and essentially about the game, I do think it's kind of unfair to like hold it against them because of your personal views, and obviously try to enforce your will, even though you never really had the power to enforce your will in the first place, because of a vote. You know, that's just how democracy works. But anyway, and here we're on point three, where it just establishes she's not supposed to have power. And here you can say, literally in the second sentence, the Aegis server will be delisted if you do not agree to the terms one more time, and you and your Aegis only staff will be removed from the SA subsequently. So again, she's not supposed to have power. However, she deliberately says you are going to be delisted if you do not agree. And this is not up for debate, and I am done with diplomatic attempts. This is neither about Discord TRS as they allowed NSFW content. So she's clearly saying it's not about Discord. This is about the terms I have for you to remain listed under my website as a character server. If you didn't agree with the God Complex thing earlier, I think this would be a perfect time to agree with me. Or at least say she has some sort of thing about power. I don't know why. Again, it's a Discord server for Smash Brothers Ultimate. Jeez Louise. But yeah, this top message comes out as very aggressive and is essentially a threat, or what you could say is a warning. To use your argument against you, my website, my rules. Yeah, that's a typical argument when someone makes some sort of bullshit authority and people question it. My website, my rules. Like, okay, buddy. Additionally, the art being referred to here is not even official art, it is fan art. The server age does not match the game age. Additionally, you're free to do as you wish with the server I've given you out of dear desire to trust you despite my concerns I had at the beginning. But it will no longer be part of Smash Assembly nor Smashcords. You have one final chance to remedy the situation. So yeah, as you can see, it's basically like essentially blackmail in a sense, but I don't really think the art being official or fan art really matters because you can honestly see the same things in the official art. And I would like to mention earlier that some of these features are, you know, unironically real. In real life, people do have big boobies and such. Not trying to be funny with that, but it is true. And here, we can immediately say, basically, she's trying to say she has, she'll enforce someone, essentially like a spy or something, and she'll have them report to her. So essentially, she's trying to keep secret tabs on the server. She's not supposed to have any power over, which is pretty weird. And that they have to remove all the content with no questions asked. Now, you're probably wondering why are they being so petty over at SFW? I personally don't know, but honestly, from what I can tell, this just seems like a problem in and of itself. And again, the link court stuff, it did rub me the wrong way. I don't really think they took time to actually figure out what's going on. And apparently, someone in a Discord was like spamming cum. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure they're a troll. And there was like a troll NSFW chat that was made for like an hour, and there wasn't any actual NSFW art in it. It's like those Discord servers that have an NSFW channel, and then everyone posts memes in it. That's essentially what I get the impression from it. But yeah, the alternative is to delist, obviously. And yes, it's definitely a threat. I mean, I don't see how it's not a threat. It's okay. And then immediately, funnily enough, she's not allowed to force anything on the server, even though she's threatening to delist them, essentially, which makes them not part of Smashcords anymore, which is a pretty big deal. So yeah, to say she's not trying to force anything is just an outright lie, obviously. So yeah, that's the end of the document, and essentially, basically the end of the video. My personal thoughts on this whole thing, I really think Lucario has some sort of God Tom complex when it comes to these character discords. I think at the end of the day, you know, it's Smash Brothers. Everyone's just trying to have a good time, for the most part, you know, learn about their character and vibe. But some people are obviously just going to try to ruin that. I don't know why. Just because she has ownership and all that doesn't mean she has to be a dick about it. I think she should put her views aside. You know, think rationally and not enforce power that should not be enforced. And that is my personal opinion. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. And just for anyone wondering, you can probably already see it in the tab, but the music was from Final Fantasy VII, and it is called Birth of a God. So I'll see you guys. Peace.